music for a couple seconds. So, hello everyone, and you can just vibe with us because it's called Down Tempo, and I love it. It's better than what they were saying was Christmas music, because it wasn't. Okay, we're done with the music. Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, halfway through December Saturday. I cannot believe it's halfway through December. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous, but I love it. And Missy's birthday is Shannon's birthday is Tuesday. We'll do that first. And Missy's birthday is Monday.
No, no, no. Hers comes before mine.
What?
I said hers comes before mine.
It does. It
I
is
was just
Monday.
I was just born before her is all.
Yeah, I think you're slightly older than she is.
Just
She'll
by
be a year
a
old.
couple decades.
She'll be a
Just by a
year
few
old.
decades.
Well, I mean, she's closer because what? It's supposed to be like 7 years in dog years. So
Yeah, I
she.
think until like the first 4 years, and then it shrinks down a little bit.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
So until they're 28, then it slows down their age process.
Well, it's like 7 year. Every year is like 7 years for them until about, yeah, I think they're 28, and then it like goes down to like 6 years, and then 5 years or whatever.
Ooh, I like that. Maybe she'll
Yeah,
like calm down a little. Her latest
probably.
thing now is like whenever I put the leash on Jack, she thinks it's her duty to grab hold of the leash and drag him to wherever she wants him to go. All 109 pounds of him, and he's like, "All right, sure, whatever."
We're going.
Yep,
Yeah, you're walking me today. Great.
that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. So how are you, Shannon? How was your week?
Honestly, I've had a good 2 weeks probably.
What? Oh,
Yeah,
that's right.
it's
Your
been a
friends
good
were in town to celebrate
yeah,
your birthday.
it's been a good stretch of days strung together. I'm not a big Chris like I mean like Christmas is fine, and like there's obviously some nostalgia there,
Right?
but it's just fine.
Yeah, me too.
But it's still like fun, I guess, to see people like in a mood. So that's
I think it's
nice.
fun to see the houses lit up. Like I like to see the houses lit up.
Yes.
Like I take the dogs walking now in the evening, and if you go up, like where I live, they're apartments, but there are some people who put like lights on their apartment,
Hmm.
whatever things. But if you go further up, there are houses up in Five Points that are pretty righteous with their Christmas decorations. Although I do have to say that, like Missy, the big snowmen around and the Santa Claus that are out on the lawn, she doesn't understand that they're friend, not foe. Because
What I love are the people who do the like decorations that are, I mean, so back in Memphis, there was a family who did the entire Christmas vacation decor. So they had the uncle outside, like they had like a drain from their house, and he was like had a hose and like emptying the septic tank, and they had like the whole thing set up. It was
that's
pretty,
awesome.
yeah.
That's
So
a
stuff
lot
like
of
that. That's the kind of decor I like for Christmas stuff. It's
see.
not the just straight up
I'm not
icicles and stuff.
I'm not that kind of like I don't really watch like I don't really watch Christmas movies unless it's Die Hard. So unless it's a
Hmm.
Die Hard motif, I don't think I would understand. I mean, I would know it's probably from a Christmas movie or it's a kid with his face.
Yeah.
But I'm not like Christmas movies, sports movies. I'm not really big on theme movies. I guess I'm not really.
To to touch on that a little further, a friend of mine who is close to my age, she is married to a NFL player,
Okay.
and last year they were having like the wives were having like a pajama party, and this is in Nashville at the time. And so she's like, "Sick, this is great. I'm gonna go to a pajama party." She goes dressed as Uncle Eddie. Like she has like a t-shirt, like with chest hair, and then she's wearing a robe and like the hat and everything. And
Uh-huh.
like she looks incredible. She shows up, and it's all like 20 somethings, and they're in like silk pajamas with bows in their hair. Like it's like kind of like a fancy like, and none of them had any idea who she was. And I like, it's just like it's on brand for her, and it's just obviously so funny that like these people like had never seen this movie, and they're like, "Who are you supposed to be? Like, what's going on here?" And like she's in pajamas,
Yeah.
but like not like silk pajamas, with her hair like
Their
completely
hair
done,
done.
hair and
Yeah.
makeup completely. Yeah,
I could,
it's so funny.
especially football wives. Come on now. Which
Yeah.
almost brings us to the best thing I saw this week. But and Kyle, how was your week?
Good. And he's talking about Memphis. I wonder if he's going to talk about Titans, which also leads into what I was going to say. But yeah,
I knew he was
happy almost Christmas, but not really quite there yet. But we're halfway through December-ish day.
Yeah, I can't believe we're halfway through December. What up, Facebook user Jay? If it's Jay, I hope you're feeling better from your COVID. I hope you're better from your COVID. Good morning, Jamie. Good morning, Jessica. So the best thing, I'm going to start. Have I ever started before?
I hope today's not the first time, but let's hear it.
Why?
I'm gonna start with my worst thing, just so we're up
You're gonna
front.
start with your worst things? Okay. So
Yeah, but I want to hear yours. But no,
roller coaster.
Yeah. It's kind of like three. It's like not really. So I started rewatching Chuck because I love Chuck.
Okay.
Season, the last season, really good. And then I watched. My sister was talking about. Remember the character Monk? He has like Monk's Last Case is like a movie on Peacock. So I watched that. It's really good. But the whole thing with Monk is like I loved the show, but it's always that kind of sad because of his afflictions. You know, you're not sure how you feel about him. And this one, the pathos is really he's like suicidal in this one, but it ends up good. But there's a dog in it. They go to this animal shelter that's getting these threats, and they're trying to figure out why. And they go in, and there's this one like black standard poodle in a cage by himself, and he's older and he's almost blind. And they're watching him, and the girl goes, Natalie goes, "What is he doing?" And she goes, "Well," or she goes, "Why is he there?" And she goes, "Well, he kind of likes to be alone." And then he starts doing stuff, and they're like, "What is he doing?" And she goes, he likes his pen to be clean too. And Natalie goes, "Oh my God, Monk, that's you." And they're like, "Yeah, but he's been here a while." So it's like, you know, the euthanasia, which I don't even understand. And so now he's like, "Monk, you have to adopt them." And he goes, "I only have one bowl." And she's like, a typical Monk thing. "You could buy another bowl." And he's like, "No." And so, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen it yet, close your earmuffs. At the end, everyone goes home, but Natalie, like, Monk comes in and there's a bowl on his grocery on his table, and he looks up and the dog comes from around the corner and he just smiles, and the dog's just standing there looking at him. And I'm like, that's the perfect ending for Monk because he didn't commit suicide. But transitioning to the best thing I saw. Did you watch? You don't watch football. The Thursday night game.
So I watched the last quarter and a half.
Yeah. Did you watch the post-game interview
with Max Crosby?
Oh my fucking God. No shirt, smoking a cigar. I thought this, if I could screenshot this, I would just like have this everywhere.
You can.
That has got to be one of the sexiest men I've ever seen in my life. Like, I've never heard Max Crosby talk or like do anything except play football. And I've always liked him playing football because he's really good at his position. Like, he's really good at football. But I'm watching him walk up, and then I'm watching him talk, and I'm watching him smoke the cigar with no shirt on, all tatted out. And I'm like, yes, please. Yeah, I'll take 2 of those and one just in case I run out.
Yeah, you and I have a type, muscles and tattoos.
Oh, yes. And swagger. Like, the swagger
has. And I think the thing that I like about him is that, like, I don't know that people really thought he was going to be who he is, right?
Right.
And the fact that he is awesome. Like, it just like shows the work he put in my estimation. I imagine there's talent there, obviously, but like, it wasn't like he was like touted as this guy that we're like, oh my gosh, he's going to carry us, you know?
I think about the draft. They took Clelin Ferrell 4th overall, and then Max Crosby in the 4th round. And if you just reverse the picks, it all makes sense. Max Crosby would have been considered a huge reach, but how good he's played, he was probably worth the 4th overall pick. And Clelin Ferrell, I mean, I don't even know if he's in the NFL anymore. So 4th round pick, you could justify that. It's way worse reversed, right? Because now Clelin Ferrell looks like such a reach. Before the draft, that would have been like he was viewed as potential late 1st rounder, but nowhere near how Crosby wasn't touted anywhere near that. And then they managed to like miraculously hit on that one, but fumble on the 4th overall pick. So they could have made a worse reach on Crosby at 4th, and it would be viewed as better. So it's just. You never know. The draft is a crapshoot. The greatest NFL player of all time is a 6th round pick. So.
Yeah, which is absolutely insane.
I was listening to Matt Money Smith, who I love. Like, I'm sorry, he's off NFL Network and just does the Chargers before the Chargers game, and that's what he was saying. He was saying like these teams that tank, why are you tanking? Like the players in the last 2 years or so that have overreached or whatever haven't been first, like the number one pick. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
In like the third round and the second round, and so and I guess his whole thing was, I don't know if he thought the Chargers were going to tank, and I'm not sure they tanked there. They just were like,
They're
yeah,
just that bad.
we want Brandon
They're really
Staley.
trying.
We want Brandon Staley gone, so we're going to do
Yeah.
everything. We're not going to do anything, and we'll see what happens tomorrow. So, but Matt Money was like, and then he got on this Al Michaels thing, which Al Michaels, I think Al Michaels, because of how long he's been doing it and how well he did it up until a couple of years ago, gets the benefit of the doubt. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
he's earned that right. But
Hmm.
Money Smith was like, yeah, it's going to be another game where we hear Al Michaels complain about being an NBC or being an announcer on a professional football game. I would do anything to be an announcer on a professional football game, and it's true. Like Al Michaels has not hid his disdain for the Thursday night lineups, which
Yeah.
they've been crappy games. I don't blame him.
I mean,
But
he's just saying what the fans are thinking, right? He's trying to relate to the fans, but
Yeah.
he's getting paid to do this, so maybe appreciate the fact that you're there. You actually have this job, although I would say it's deserved. He's earned, this
right.
big contract from Prime. It's because of he's earned it. He's done well as a play-by-play guy, unlike Troy Aikman's contract with ESPN, which is just, oh, you're a Cowboys quarterback. We'll pay you whatever you want, even though he's awful.
Yeah.
Troy Aikman talk, but I can't. It's like every time.
He's not on today, is he? Is there an ESPN game today? I don't even know.
No, there are two NFLs. The first two are NFL Network, and which I hope one is Kurt Warner. I love Kurt Warner's talk when he talks.
Oh.
But I don't remember what
Okay.
the last. I think the last one is CBS. Who's that? Oh, Troy Romo or Tony Romo. Yeah, that's almost as bad for me. Maybe because they're Cowboys.
I love Romo, but yeah.
Mm.
I get why people don't like him.
Talking about Josh Allen, I love Romo. If he's like in a neutral game, I consider a neutral game of like quarterbacks who he has the same affinity for, I'm okay with.
Yeah.
But if he's in a Josh Allen game, I'm like, shut up, just shut up. He's like Orlovsky with Josh Allen. Like, I'm pretty sure if they could have babies.
That's another man. ESPN just knows how to pick him, right? That dude is. And unlike Troy Aikman, he was actually awful at football, so there's really no reason to pick him. He's awful as a journalist and awful at football. So why are you having talking about football? Like, at least Aikman, so I can kind of get it. But he's awful at his job. But like, okay, you get the football credit because he clearly knows what he's doing when it comes to football. He's the guy you hire when you want to tank. Like he was the Lions quarterback when they went 0-16, tanked for Matthew Stafford. He was the Colts quarterback the year after Peyton Manning, or the year Peyton Manning took off. He had the neck surgery right before they traded him. They tanked for Andrew Luck. Guess what? Dan Orlovsky, get in there. He's the quarterback you put in when you want to lose games.
Well, the really great thing is like every now and then on Get Up, they will show the clip where he runs out of the back of the end zone and he's like, and Frank Clark's like, and I've seen your wife, and she married you because she's hot. And Dan Orlovsky's like, yeah, I don't know. So I mean,
hot doesn't mean smart though.
I don't think Ryan Clark cares if she was smart. I think that whole point was she was
hot. His wife. Why would he care?
God.
She is.
I love
just
Ryan
in flames. Just in flames.
I love Ryan Clark. I think Ryan Clark is like one of the best. It's the only reason I watch ESPN still is Ryan Clark is still on there, and he's really good. And so is Rex Ryan, who I never would have thought, but Rex Ryan is actually, his analysis is pretty good. I like it that they're good.
I mean, he's been in football his entire life, so I figured he'd be good.
I like a lot of the former coaches because their entire career has been having to explain things to players. So I feel like they're actually better positioned than players to come into broadcasting because they've been used, like to Shannon's point, he's been doing what he's doing now his whole life. Whether it's in front of a locker room or in front of a TV audience, he's still
or at home with his dad. I'm sure, like explaining.
Oh yeah, there were probably tons of conversations there. So
is on ESPN. What other former coaches on ESPN?
Well, I'm thinking of
NFL.
I'm thinking of like just like John Gruden. Kind of not a great person.
Yeah,
I don't even think he was that great of a coach. I think he's overrated as a coach. He was a fantastic broadcaster. Color commentary, one of the best we've ever seen. Probably like almost as good as John Madden. And because he was, I think those coaches they're so used to having to explain things. And I felt like watching those older Monday Night ESPN games, I was learning so much about football from watching from John Gruden. I think he was one of the best at teaching. Just, not be racist. That might be better, but that's kind of goes for everything. Apparently, it's really hard for people.
Small problem that he might be a racist and a homophobe, but other than that, like perfect.
Yeah. A few things can be true about people.
Yeah, I like Randy Moss. I think is really good too because he's partially unbiased. But I want my announcers to be like I know that Ryan Clark roots for the Steelers because he says he roots for the Steelers and he says us, and when he disparages Tomlin, which he hardly does, but he did last week. He says I love Tomlin. He's a great coach, but the team's gotten out of hand. Like they have, not. I saw a clip. Speaking of the Thursday night game where I get defensive. I didn't watch the game. I just watched the post-game interview where they had the defensive player score. And it's like this 300-pound guy running down the field, 9 seconds to get from when he got to the ball to the end zone. And you do not see a Charger anywhere with it. It's like they said, okay, it's fine. We'll let him go. It's probably the only touchdown he's going to get in his life. We're okay with that. We're down 42-0.
At least we're not going to allow 70.
Yeah. It's, let him go. It's fine.
The Broncos were still worse than us this year at one point. Like,
yeah.
Rest our head on that.
We're okay. Staley will be gone tomorrow. We're fine. All right. Kyle, we're getting the best thing you saw since he's going to start off with the worst.
All right. So I guess Monday Night Football, but it was the opposite game where Aikman and Buck weren't doing. So that helps. But man.
What game weren't they doing?
They were doing the Packers-Giants game, unfortunately.
Oh, Tennessee and Miami.
That, yeah. I guess there'll be another playoff game. I'll probably watch that, but there's probably only one more time this year I have to listen to Aikman, so I can. Because before, honestly, like when he used to be on Fox, it was worse because like you'd never know what game he'd get, and it seemed like they always just loved giving, especially when how good Rodgers was. Let's give the Packers the game of the week thing. So there's so many like. Man, I gotta listen to Aikman do a Packers game like 5 times a year. Like and he's really bad at it. Like he doesn't understand how Rodgers plays quarterback. Totally different than himself. So he can't explain it properly, and it just comes out as a babbling idiot, kind of like me. But the other Monday night game was the Titans-Dolphins, and for a Dolphins to have are the Miami Dolphins the Chicago Bears? Because like both teams this year have blown a 2-score lead in the final 4 minutes of the fourth quarter.
The Miami Dolphins are not the Miami Dolphins without Tyreek Hill fully capable on the field.
To be fair, the defense is awful. Like the defense really isn't that good. It really came to head there when Will Levis just drives down the field for 2 touchdowns. So I would have to say the Titans offense in the final 4 minutes of the game because 2 fantastic drives. I had my two most important fantasy leagues. I had Derrick Henry and DeAndre Hopkins going, and in one league, it's a 24-team league, 2 copies of every players, and with 24 teams, 2 divisions, there's essentially 4 weeks of playoffs. You just give it an extra week to everyone to make up for the basically twice as many teams in it. So the playoffs actually started last week, and in my playoff game, I won by 4 points, and that difference came from that Hopkins touchdown at the end. So thank you, Will Levis, for finding Hopkins there. Thank you, Hopkins, for just always being good. And because that was not going to be fun to see because I was playing against Saquon Barkley and to have him. Okay, if they can just hold him in check. Oh, there's a touchdown. Oh, there's another touchdown. Oh, that's not good. Oh, there's 100 yards of scrimmage. Oh, that's not good. So Hopkins' touchdown really bailed me out. So that was honestly the best thing I saw. Even though like the play is okay. Like Will Levis does well in the pocket. He scrambles around a little bit. It's not too much pressure from the Dolphins. Like it's the point where like Levis probably could have ran that in himself, honestly. But he saw Hopkins get open right at the time. Do it to him on a dart, touchdown, and I won my playoff game. So thank you, Will Levis and Hopkins.
Kyle needs this bad. I'm not running it in. I'm throwing it to DeAndre. I was listening.
I was really not high on. I was very anti Will Levis. So to see him actually perform well, like I'm glad I was wrong on that.
I'm not sure that I'm wrong. I was listening to the guys at Stochastic talking about DFS strategy this morning, and the one guy was saying one of his lineups was Levis, Hopkins, Henry. He double played them, and he's like, I gave up, and then 2 minutes into the game, I see my name start going up the score sheet and I'm like, what the? And he turns on and he came in like 3rd place because of those last 2 minutes. He's like, yeah,
wild.
I know. I'm like, that's awesome. All right, Shannon, Ready. The worst thing you saw.
All right, so this is something I've talked about prior, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. Fuck Draymond Green. I've had a fucking enough. God damn it.
F Draymond Green Part 5.
Oh my God. Like, I don't even know that I have any more to say. I guess it's great that he's indefinitely suspended. I mean, just what a fuck boy. Just piece of shit.
Well, I
And
mean,
I'm
Yeah,
just
he's
gonna.
definitely worse than Ben
When I
Simmons.
saw that
He's gone
play,
past
I
that
thought
threshold. I will
immediately,
admit
dude.
that Ben Simmons isn't the dirtiest player in the league anymore. I don't even know if he still plays.
And I have nothing new to say other than he's a child, and I just can't stand him.
I would
So,
encourage people to go to the Going for Two Live archives on YouTube and watch a couple weeks ago because Shannon had a beautiful and very eloquent rant about this. We don't really need to.
November 20th. It was almost exactly a month ago that I was going on about this shit. Just like I just can't even.
The more
with
things
this
change,
guy.
the more they stay the same. The more like our background changed, the font changed, but we're still here talking about Draymond Green
Still
being
talking
a
about
piece
this
of shit.
motherfucker.
I
Yeah,
saw
that's it.
that, I
That's
thought, Shannon's gonna be livid. And
yeah,
that's
I am. Just like, dude. I don't know. I have nothing new to say. I just can't stand you. You're not a good human. I like that's like the worst thing I could probably say about someone is that you're just not a good human, and
That
that's
is-
terrible.
It is a terrible thing to say
Um,
when it's true.
he's
It's true.
remorseless, and that's bad. Like it's just he's a bad guy. I'm not coming off the hill. I'm gonna die on that one. I try not to find many hills to die on. I'm gonna die on that one. So that's it. I'm leaving it at that. I don't even get started more than I already have.
Draymond.
I definitely don't. I think at this point, like, I really don't want to see the Warriors win again. Like that now it's insufferable. Like Steph and Clay are great, but like I don't want to see them win anymore. As long as they have Draymond on the team, like hopefully he retires soon.
Or is just told, hey man, you're washed.
Yeah,
You're out
this
here.
indefinite suspension is forever. He's never playing again.
Dude, that would be incredible. It's not going to happen, but that would be incredible. I know
To be fair, the players' union would never let it happen, which they should.
Exactly.
But yeah. Though I mean, to be fair, the Warriors can do the right thing and just cut him. They can always just release him.
They won't. And
I know.
You know what? I'm going to go in on it a little bit. A few years ago, Grizzlies Warriors, and there was a bad play that Brooks made against Peyton II. And Steve Kerr was like, watch the replay, terrible, terrible person, blah, 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 going on, whatever. And then Draymond punches that guy in the face. He's like, haven't seen the replay, couldn't tell you what happened. And it's like, come on, dude. You need to grow up too. Like,
Yeah.
I struggle. I struggle with persons who don't at least attempt to see both sides, very one-sided. I get it. It's hard to do. Like, it's hard to do because some person's your guy or your girl, like I get that. But I like when people refuse to try, that irritates me to no end. So
I mean,
I'm done.
They're biased for their players, right? They'll always say whatever. Oh, our players are always good, and all the other players are always bad. He's not the only. He's certainly pushing it to an extreme because Draymond's pushing it.
Yeah, exactly. But you at some point, someone's got to be an adult. Like, like it shouldn't have been Adam Silver that came in and was like, "Hey, you're suspended." The Warriors should have been like, "Hey, man, we gotta not have you on the court doing this stuff for however long." Like, for as upstanding as like Steve Kerr tries to be, and like the organization and all this stuff, it's like maybe you guys take the first step.
Is Mike Dunleavy the GM there?
I think that's right. I don't remember.
Well, I mean, he was talking, but they didn't have like why he was talking, but he was talking about Draymond, and I assume that he is the GM. Isn't he young? Isn't Mike Dunleavy young? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think he is the GM there because he was the one that said, his. How did he put it?
You are correct, Alice.
His availability
Gladys.
is good.
Sorry, Dunleavy and Gladys like combined together.
That's okay.
Sorry.
I've been called worse. His
I picked up DJ Dallas on waivers this morning, so I was happy to see that. I'm still thinking of that. Yeah, he's only 43. You are correct.
Yeah, but he looks a lot younger too. But yeah, so
athlete.
I think that they should just. Apparently, he's having off the court issues, is what they're.
Yeah, no fucking shit. Like, what?
Everyone in his life hates him because he's a dick. Yeah,
dude. Like, but that's the thing too, is that like, and again, this is why I'm in on it now. Fuck, this is why I'm like so bothered by him, because it's just like, you as an adult, you should be able to like separate or compartmentalize a little bit. Like I realize there's going to be a little bit of stuff that's you're taking in or whatever, but yeah. But again, it's just like you try not to bring these things home, or you try not to bring these things from home to work or wherever, And there's going to be, like you said, some leakage. However, don't hit people in the face when you're playing a sport. What are you doing? Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard to not swing on someone.
Even in full contact sports with hockey and football, you swing at someone in the face, like that's a penalty. That's a foul. It's like you're getting ejected. Like you're probably getting suspended. Like there's no place for it. So
which he is, but again, it's like this is a trend. This is just who he is as a person. It's just like there's no place for it.
No, I mean,
I guess I don't know. What do I know?
No, and
crazy that
like
they're going.
Go ahead, Kyle.
They're going indefinite. The same year that a player's been suspended 25 games. So, like, they're probably going to really take their time with this to determine the exact amount. And
your boy's coming back, though, right, Shannon?
Speaking of, Ja's coming back soon. What a time. Dylan Brooks and the Rockets played in Memphis last night, and they had a nice little tribute video for him, which, good to see. I mean, obviously, there's feelings up and down with him. He's a roller coaster of a person as well, but still good to see.
Yeah, he's not necessarily doing the nice things that are great either.
No, he's not, and I'm not defending those by no means.
Are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
Well, Jaw.
Dylan Brooks.
Oh,
I was talking about Dylan Brooks.
That's what I thought. I thought
I
you
was
were
talking about Jaw, just like
yeah, you two were talking about two different people. I caught that. Maybe because it's
all of them. They're all in the same bucket. There we go. Ben Simmons, Draymond Green, Dylan Brooks, Ja Morant. They're all in the same freaking bucket.
No.
So yeah, no. I'm not even kidding. I don't want to get more fired up.
Deeper in the bucket.
Sure.
Yeah, they're not.
Which is the most buckets he'll ever get because he doesn't really score that much.
I mean, sure, but I like. And again, comparison and all that. I just like with Ja, I'm like, he's 24. Like, you're gonna probably do some shithead things. Like, 24-year-olds do shithead things. With Draymond, he's like 34, and I'm like, you should probably be a little bit grown past some shithead things.
I don't know, man. There's some like 60-year-olds that run for president that are shitheads. So like, they never age out to being a complete asshole.
And one,
ego can take you a lot of places.
Harming himself, like. The one didn't harm anyone else. He's harming himself. The harm he's doing is to himself. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you don't even know if the fucking gun exploded. I don't even know if it was a real gun.
With punching a teenager though, like that is kind of harming someone else.
Well, so to speak to that real quick, I've like there's a My Chemical Romance song, and it's called Teenagers, and there's a line that says teenagers scare the living shit out of me or hell out of me, and the last 2 weekends of my life, I go to see the movies all the time. I've gone to see Saltburn, and I went to go see a movie called Dream Scenario. Both of them very intense movies, and there's some quiet parts and some really cringy parts that like they're building something with that, and like there's a palpable tension in the theater in your chest where you're just like you're maybe sitting a little bit forward and be like, I'm a little uncomfortable. That said, the last 2 weekends of my life, there have been teenagers that come in after the movie starts, and they are being ruckus. And I never, ever want to fight anybody. Except I've almost gotten in fights in the movie theater because I just can't stand the idea that people are so rude. When people are rude to other people, I am just sent. Like, it just gets me going. And teenagers are almost untouchable. Like, they are genuinely almost untouchable. Because... one, they can eviscerate you with saying something that you're just not ill-prepared to deal with. And two, you can't actually physically do anything to a teenager because they're a child. They're an idiot child. But like, and specifically teenage boys, they're just like in this weird thing. Like, it's like, dude, I could throttle you, but I'm not allowed to. But also you can you're going to say something that's going to be eviscerating to my personhood. Well, not to me, I'm pretty much water off a duck's back, but like they can say stuff that you're like, does your mom know you have a mouth like that? And so teenagers are in this really special place. That said, Ja, not far from being a teenager, I'm kind of not surprised that he didn't hit like that he hit a kid like for whatever happened. I'm like, oh no.
See, I'm not. I mean, I understand the whole, don't hit a teenager thing, don't hit a baby child thing, but I'm also people who understand that you can't, like fans in a basketball game who say shit because they know that the player can't retaliate. Those
Mhm.
people deserve to be hit. Like I'm okay going into the stands and fucking punching them because you're only doing it because you think you're not, like, if you were face to face with them,
Mhm.
they wouldn't say half the shit
Oh, yeah, no.
do half the stuff they do. But they think that because they pay whatever amount they're paying to get into a game, and because they are in the stands, they're protected and can say whatever shit they want. You can't. You can't. It's I don't know. Society does not allow that. And who was it that went up into the stands after he got the shit thrown on him? I'm like, yes,
Oh, run our test.
yeah,
Yeah,
kill him. You don't throw shit
bro.
at people and expect nothing to happen to you. That's stupid. And you should be hit just because you're that stupid. Because
And
you
well,
think,
and if I was watching there's a documentary, the same company
Hmm.
that made the Manti Te'o documentary, Untold Stories. They did one on Malice in the Palace, and the only people who are actually charged with anything are the fans that started the riots, because the players were acted in self defense in terms of this was their workplace and they were attacked at their workplace. So
yeah,
like all the
Hmm.
worker safety laws kind of stepped in, and like essentially none of the players got charged with anything.
good.
So it was the people who actually got charged were the one dude who threw something. There was someone else who because like the most violent things that happened in that game, as much as like some players just kind of were not so nice to some fans, the worst things that happened during that altercation were like fans doing stuff. Like some fan threw a chair across and hit a few other people, and like those are
Hmm.
the people that got charged in that instance.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, I, I understand like passion for sport. I understand passion for, I don't really understand passion for play. Like I think certain players are really, really good and I really, really like them, but not to the effect that I'm going to, unless it's Max Crosby sitting in front of me. And then it's like, I, you know,
A
what
little
happened?
Well,
drool.
if Max, he's so giant, what else are you going to see? If he's sitting in front of you,
I
that's all you
know.
can see. So what else are you going to stare at?
Damn. Anyway, but I don't understand thinking that I can yell obscenities to someone because they're not playing well. When one of the reasons I love Popovich, when Popovich got on the mic and said, "Stop,"
Stop booing.
I'm like, "This is why I love you." I don't
Remember
care
the
if you
last
guys
time you won a title? This was the dude that was the
yeah,
Yeah,
Finals
the
MVP for
catalyst
you.
as to
Like
why we won. Yeah.
yeah. I see, and
and you
that's
also
why
is
I love
like don't
Popovich.
poke the bear. Like that's just gonna piss him off. You all know how
Hmm.
good he is and how like mentally tough he is. Like that's just gonna piss him off more. Like why are you doing it? You're
Yeah.
making our job harder by doing that.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't know why that started, or I mean, that's like that predates social media bullies, people thinking they can do that. And I don't understand.
Oh
I
yeah, there's
mean, heckling, like, I, when I play sports, like, I heckle, but it's like, it's not to the point of like where it's like, you know, where
I
you're
heckle people
cursing
on
at someone.
court, people I'm
Yeah.
playing against. I don't heckle. I'm not heckling a fan, or I'm not. And when I'm
Yeah. Yeah.
watching,
Yeah.
I'm not heckling someone on the court. I
there's
will
even
talk trash.
playing
I
field
will
if you're
talk
both
mad
literally
trash
on
to
the
someone I'm
playing
playing
field,
with.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
talk mad trash to someone I'm playing with, especially if I think
Hmm.
I'm better than they are. Because what are you gonna do? But that's not the same as me sitting in the stands and heckling someone. Because hey, I'm sitting in the stands, so obviously I'm not as good as you are out there playing anyway.
Hmm.
What can I say? I don't get that. I don't get people. Oh, I could like do that. Then do it. If you could
Yeah.
play better, and then get your fucking ass on the court and play. Why am I cussing so much this morning? I don't know.
Well, we're fired up today.
We've been talking about Draymond Green, and it's led to this whole conversation, right? So it's just been like
Draymond
negative
Green.
energy. Like it's glad that
Yeah.
I got the things we like the most out of the way first. It just
Thanks.
All right.
it's just gone.
I can spin it. I can spin this into a positive. Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Apparently, the negative is my rankings can't be found, which I actually went to goingfor2.com. It's the week 8 ranking, so I don't know. Like, I don't know if the site's not updating. Jeff's not updating. Maybe get on that, Jeff. But yeah, I'm also having that trouble, Jamie. If you're looking for my rankings, though, head over to fullpresscoverage.com. They're definitely there. Definitely submitted them there. You can find them there, as well as the goal line guide article. So those are the two things you need, even though the goal line guide article will influence the rankings. If you're looking for the rankings, Jamie, fullpresscoverage.com. There's the fantasy.
All right, Shannon.
You'll find it there.
This is a little older news and nothing new to what we talk about. However, Time Person of the Year was Taylor Swift this year.
Yes, I think that's awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, this has been touted as like she turned around, what could have been a recession for a lot of places, because I mean, the fact that she went all around the nation and people were spending all this money and going to play bars and restaurants around those places and whatever. I mean, who knows how true that is? But
we were packed the week she was here. Like, we were packed from when we opened the door until the time the concert started, and it was full blown people waiting, and it was all the restaurants on the mall. We were packed.
I mean, even further out than that, like I was out on South Broadway and people were like out there before they go to the show and all that.
So yeah, she did bring in money. I don't care what anyone says. She brought in money to the towns that she was at.
And we've talked at length about Taylor, but stuff like that is pretty cool. And I think that art is important. And I get that people have sticking points with, her for whatever reason, and with pop music maybe in general, whatever. That to say, art is important to us as beings, in my belief, that like we need it. It's good for us to have. It's good for us to make. And regardless of your feelings on it, because like art is, again, subjective, but something like that where an artist is affecting the country writ large, I think is a really good thing. And I only hope that we get more things like that, where like art of any sort, and like to go one step further, the Greta Gerwig Barbie movie, like that was also like a boon for everyone too, like for the economy as well, because people were just going to see it 4 and 5 times. Right. And so like things like that. Yeah, I've seen it.
Oh,
what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Opening weekend, maybe opening day, probably.
Can I ask what you wore?
Can you what?
Can I ask what you wore?
I have pink pants, and I had them for my birthday. That I wore them last year, but I ended up not doing that. For reasons, I didn't do that.
Okay.
I needed to be comfortable, and those aren't the most comfortable, because they're ladies' pants, and like they have like pockets that big. I don't know if you know about this, but women's pants don't have big pockets. And so I needed to be comfortable in the movie theater while I watched it because of reasons. And so I didn't wear those pink pants, but I could have. And I probably should have gone to see it again wearing those. Yeah, wearing the pink pants. And I also have like a pink silk shirt as well that I could have worn but maybe it was a failing on my part. I did go see the movie, and it was a full-throated punch. There was no, like, they didn't pull any punches with that. Like, I thought, there's going to be a little thumbing of the nose or whatever. They went full bore with some stuff in that.
Is it worth seeing?
Yeah, what? Well, all right. Another biases on my end. I love Pink. Like, I genuinely love Pink. I think I've loved Pink since I heard the Aerosmith song Pink when I was 8 years old. 2, I love musicals, and I hadn't seen a preview before the movie came out at all.
Okay.
But I assumed, rightly so, that there was going to be some singing and dancing, and there's going to be lots of Pink. I was right about those things. And so I didn't really need to see anything else. There was no marketing to me that I needed. It was just like, these are things that I like. It's going to have these things. I'm there. And it's going to be on Max, HBO Max, whatever you want to say, soon, if not right now. And so
I saw an ad this morning that it's on Crave, so I know in Canada we got it now.
Yeah, so it is worth your time.
Okay.
So like things like that, like, again, art is important. It's great that art was such a boon for the country, as a whole. And I love art, regardless of form that it comes in. Music, movies, physical, tactile, put on a wall, whatever. I love art. It's tremendous.
I love musicals a lot.
I love musicals. You also, let's just, part of your brand, I think, is that you also love, like with Luceau, And then Monk, I'm like, I think you like one, detectives, and then two, persons who are detectives on the spectrum.
Maybe. Yeah. I like people who overcome what others consider to be um
Differing
my plant's
abilities,
dying. What? Yes.
differing abilities.
Inconveniences, or I was gonna say
Yeah.
Yeah.
weakness.
You know,
That's a little
and
harsh.
excel at what they do being
Hmm.
themselves. Like they excel because of
They don't
or
have
not
to
or not
be
in spite of.
normal in
You know what
order
I
to
mean?
succeed.
They excel because of who they are, not in spite of who they are.
Hmm.
And
Did you watch the Cumberbatch Sherlock show?
yes. Oh my God,
Okay,
yes.
just making sure. Yeah.
What?
Whoa. Bad question. Bad question.
I watch anything Cumberbatch is in, like
And I
literally.
mean,
And
I'll say this: Martin Freeman's the best Watson I've ever seen.
Martin
Even better
Freeman
than
is like
Christian
one of
Watson,
the
to be
best
honest.
actors I've ever seen.
Well,
Like
that's
he
true too.
plays
But
like every friggin' role, and he plays it. It's not
I
like Tom
think
Cruise, like you're thinking, oh, that's Tom Cruise, except in Collateral. But
Hmm.
it's Freeman, and sometimes I don't even recognize him. Like it took me a while, which is my fault because I was probably concentrating on other things, to realize who he was in Black Panther. Like I was like, you know,
oh
I've seen
right,
him
yeah. Well, he's
before.
also using the American accent too, right?
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's it.
So that
I was
throws
like,
you off a little bit. Yeah.
wow, yeah, he's so good. Martin Freeman's good. He's really, really good. I love him.
Because like I think Jude Law is a good actor. I do not like him as Watson though. He's too aggressive. He's not warm-hearted enough. Like I know he's a soldier, but he's also like a medical. He's a
I don't
doctor,
think I
right?
like
So he's
Robert
like
Downey
the
Jr.
the,
in
the, the
Sherlock.
helping healing part of him. I find like Jude Law in the Sherlock movies, like the Robert Downey Jr. movies,
Yeah,
it's a
Hmm.
little too abrasive and aggressive. It doesn't feel like Watson to me.
Hmm.
I
So
don't think Robert Downey Jr. felt like Sherlock. I don't. The
I
only
thought
one
he
I
was
liked
fine.
in was Sherlock's brother. Like I didn't.
Oh,
I
Stephen Fry. Oh
yeah
my God, I love Stephen Fry.
Yeah, Fry's
Put
great.
him in every. Put him in
Those
everything.
movies, they're fine, but they're not great. Like, yeah, the
yeah.
Sherlock TV series is definitely way better.
I
The
just recently rewatched them, I think, or maybe the second one. Just because I just like love Guy Ritchie movies, so I'm like a sucker for his movies, and that's why I watch it. I was like,
For
I'm
sure.
watching this because it's a Guy Ritchie movie, not because of anything else, really.
the wait yeah I don't yeah I don't. I mean I like Guy Ritchie movies because he always puts really really pretty people in his movies doing really
Hmm.
really crazy things. But I don't.
Rockarola, baby.
Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock didn't. He wasn't interesting. Like Johnny Lee Miller as Sherlock in Elementary and Lucy Law as Watson, that's interesting. Even if they weren't good actors, which they both are, like, you know, you believe both of them. And even if it didn't have like the female spin where Moriarty's a female too, it would be interesting. It's just
Didn't know that.
interesting.
I've only
And
seen a couple of episodes of Elementary, but I did think Lucy Liu was great. Much better than Jude Law as Watson.
yeah, and
Maybe
then
not as good as Martin Freeman, though. But
Freeman,
again, we
they're
just know Martin
interesting.
Freeman's
You
amazing.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
Fries, I mean, they're just, I just didn't think that it was an interesting movie, I guess.
Hmm.
Robert Downey Jr. didn't play him as an interesting Sherlock, I guess. I wasn't, and maybe it's because you've seen Cumberbatch and you've seen Johnny Lee Miller, and you know, you've seen these that I consider really good portrayals of Sherlock, and it just wasn't up to standard. Or maybe it's the Iron Man thing
And
too.
your other show, House. Don't you love that?
Yes, I do. I do.
That's Sherlock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah,
It is. It is.
Dr. Watson.
And like
Dr.
the one thing I will say about that I love is that they lean into the drug use, because like
Yeah.
sometimes like they hint at it or they like intimate,
He's
whatever.
constantly popping Vicodin.
Yeah, and then but with
Several
him it's
times per
like
episode.
yeah, with him it's like yeah, he's a drug addict. He's just a genius drug addict,
And he's like, he never takes water with it. He's always just hugging it down, and he's never got water with him. It's like, oh my god, your throat. But he doesn't care.
That's what the Vikings for.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like,
What am I worried about? I just popped another. Oh yeah, but that's one thing I will say I appreciate about that show is that like they like lean into that kind of stuff because
supposedly
it's
that show was not supposed to be Sherlock and Watson as the sidekick. It was they were gonna make Wilson the main character and House the crazy sidekick character. Apparently, like early screen testings, people really didn't like it, but they kept
Mhm.
talking about how much they love Hugh Laurie as House, and then they decide let's completely rebrand the show. We'll name it House MD, and it's all about him. And That's why the show is so successful. If they had gone with what they were originally intended, and he's just a side character, I don't think it's good.
I mean, he's magnetic, right?
Yeah,
He's just kind of one of those people you can't like take your eyes off, kind of thing.
There's this '80s show. I think it started in the '80s called Blackadder. It stars Rowan Atkinson, and then Hugh Laurie's in a couple seasons of it as well. It is hilarious. It is so funny. The first season isn't that great, but they really found something in season 2, and then the seasons 2, 3, and 4 are all really similar in that sense, and the same type of character dynamics. And those 3 seasons are brilliant.
He's really good in Veep too, but so is Julia Louis-Dreyfus is kind of awesome. So
he had that one good scene in Friends too.
I don't remember him in Friends.
He yells at Rachel on a plane.
On a plane? Oh, when she's going
to London.
I remember going to London. I don't remember Hugh Laurie on the plane.
Yeah, she's ranting about like this whole plan to tell Ross he loves her and that he won't marry Emily, and then eventually she's telling to someone else. And he's trying to ignore her, but eventually he just can't stand it. And just like you're awful. Like this man's marrying someone else. You're going to like ruin his life. I do. And then he mic drops it like, oh, and yeah, I'm pretty sure like it's very clear and obvious you were on a break. And then he just like puts the headphones on and ignores her the rest of the way. But
I remember that scene. I didn't remember it was Hugh Laurie. I remember her. Yeah. I remember that scene. But
Hugh Laurie is great.
That's funny.
Best cameos in Friends.
Honestly. He's just I love him. He's just a good actor. I love really good actors. I like really good scripts and really good actors. I mean,
and we're talking about Martin Freeman with the American accent. He does the American accent really well in House. Like he's. I was shocked to find out that he was British because that was the first time I
know, right?
Him. And then now it's like, oh wow.
Whenever I hear him with a British accent, I'm like, that's awesome. Because he has an American accent in Veep too. He plays a senator or something. He's not a really nice guy, but
he's a senator. Of course he's not.
Yeah, I was gonna say, which senator is a nice guy?
I mean, she's supposed to be Julia Louis-Dreyfus' character. I mean, she's kind of clueless, but she's not a bad person. I mean, she's just kind of a clueless person. I think that differentiate the two. You don't have to be.
I think politicians who are smart and cunning are usually like climbing over everyone else, and they're usually like not the smart people. The really smart people who are nice probably stay out of politics because they know it's not for them. They're smart enough to know that they're not going to be successful in that field.
Oh my gosh, I think about that. I've thought about that more recently. Just how like I would be so naive to like the happenings to a lot of things, and it's very much like I imagine there's a few people who like get in thinking like, okay, I'm gonna actually affect some things positively. I'm gonna bring some change, and then like you get in the system and you're part of the system, and then you're part of the system now, right? Yeah. And I'm just like, wow, what a vicious cycle that we have here.
As the people who represent all of our countries, yay!
But you have to I want to think that Obama's a really good person. I think that probably deep he's a really good person, but I don't think you can be a really good person and make it to the president of the United States. Do you know what I mean? There has to be.
He probably had to compromise on some of his morals for the greater good to get into that power.
To get into that position.
Power. Then when you get there, you realize you actually don't have any power at all, and you can't make any changes. So it was all this for nothing.
Well, it wasn't for,
like Obama.
For him, it wasn't for nothing. But I mean, but I'm like, I can't. I look at what Congress is throwing up to us now, and it's like, Jesus Christ. I'm hoping this is not the aggregate of the United States. This is just like the minuscule part, because if this is the aggregate, there are like maybe 2 people in there who I would even want to like have a coffee with. Like I'd want to be in the same room without having to take a shower after they've finished talking. Stop.
It reminds me of a George Carlin quote from one of his stand-up specials. I think Shannon knows exactly what I'm saying. Think of the average American. Think of how stupid and like ignorant and awful the average American is, and then realize half of them are dumber than that. Really, you're both above average.
Thanks. I sometimes not really sure. I did a list for someone for a LinkedIn account that I work on, and it was to like the 25 best Christmas movies, and the list were so different. Like The one list had Home Alone, Home Alone 2, Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas. What else?
I love the
Jim
original
Carrey's
animated Frosty the Snowman. I think that's great. That's one of my favorites.
Jim Carrey's A Christmas Carol. The other
Jim
list had
Carrey's Grinch.
Gremlins, Die Hard, Edward Scissorhands. And what there's
Does Dexter
another-
season 1 count?
Bad
East Street
Santa.
Christmas.
No, these are just movies. It wasn't. It was Bad Santa. I'm like, this is a list I can get behind because I haven't seen Gremlins in a long time, and I would not.
every Shane Black movie.
Exactly. It's like I like this list a lot. It didn't have Love Actually on it, but I'm okay. I can like slide it in there.
Courtney's here. Hello, Courtney.
I can slide it in there. I like Love Actually, but it just reminded me that people are so like different in what they, not even in just like the normal, not normal, but in the average things that you think about. How am I supposed to trust someone in like the above average, like the abortion questions and the adoption questions? How am I, if you can't even tell me the same Christmas movie, if one list does not have It's a Wonderful Life on it, if every list does not have It's a Wonderful Life as the best Christmas movie on it, one of the
As
top
the
20.
best?
I mean, some people just refuse to watch
No,
anything
one of the
black
top
and white,
25.
to be honest.
Top 25.
They'll
Yeah.
see Clerks. It's like, this is from the 90s, though. It's black and white. It's old.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wait, what now?
Funny, though.
Clerks.
Clarence? You can't.
Clerks.
Clerks.
Oh no, Clarence from A Wonderful Life, the angel.
I can see why we're...
Oh.
I'm throwing
So-
random stuff out. It's tough to do.
I was pretty excited last year for my birthday because I was turning 37, and there's a joke about the number 37 in the movie Clerks, and so I like posted about it, and I was like so
Gotta
excited
rewatch
about it.
Clerks.
Yeah, and I was like, and because like anytime the number 37 is said aloud, I always go 37. It's a joke I've had for most of my life, and I was like so excited about turning. I was like, that's what I was excited about when I turned 37. I was like, I get to talk
The
about
joke works.
yeah, a joke in Clerks.
Okay. I think I know I've seen like every Kevin Smith movie, but I don't remember the joke in Clerks about 37.
We just rewatched Jay and Silent Bob over Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
which I realized I could still quote.
Jay and Silent Bob. What is
Jay
your
and Silent
favorite?
Bob, yeah. Oh, it might be that, honestly, just because I've watched it the most. I do love Dogma.
I love Dogma.
Mhm.
Dogma would be my favorite for sure, without like all the different characters. Yeah, Dogma is my favorite, no doubt.
Mhm.
Which one, Kyle? What's your favorite Kevin Smith movie?
I think it has to be Clerks.
Which one?
Clerks.
Clerks.
Clarence.
Yeah. Clarence and Clarence 2.
I love Clarence. I love Clarence.
All right, I kind of need to go.
Okay.
Can
Why?
we do why?
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
a date. I have a date.
Yay! Is it
What?
a date?
No, it's a date with my buddy. We're supposed to play. There's a new video game called Baldur's Gate 3, somewhat new. It's new to Xbox, and
Oh, that's right.
we're,
The games came out. You were
it's
so
like
excited.
Dungeons and Dragons,
Uh-huh.
but we're playing a campaign together, and we can only play together. So
I wish you. What do they
Have
wish
you-
you that?
Like, are
You
you
mini
starting or
lives?
you already created a character?
I've already created a character. We started yesterday. We played for like an hour and a half, and then somebody texted me like, "Hey, can you work for me tonight?" And I was like, "Sorry, man, I gotta go." So we're like,
But,
tomorrow.
I'm curious your class.
So I was sure that I was going to play a bard. I was sure of it. I was like, I can't wait to have a lute and
Yeah.
like sing people up and like have so much charisma that I'm just like walking through and like, hey, what's up? How you doing? I'm just gonna scoot right past you here, whatever. I was like sure of it. I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. And I was like, maybe I'll do something off brand. Maybe I'll be a barbarian, make him look like a Viking. I was like, that'll be sick, whatever. And then I was like, kind of bouncing both ideas. And I was like, no, I'm going to be a cleric. I'm going to be a cleric. And then yesterday, as soon as we started creating characters, I was like, I'm a rogue. And he's like, yeah, I don't know why you would be anything other than a rogue. That's just.
I know, right? I've
what
done
you're
that
gonna
too. Where
be.
it's like, this is fun. I've created like Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played. What whatever you just called it, Balderdash.
Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate. Yeah, my friend Dylan's talked about it. I forgot. Yeah,
Well, I wish
I've created bards. I've created other characters that's always come back to, but the rogues are so cool. The dexterity and like I can hide really well, move silently.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's just something in my personality that I'm just like, yeah, I just want to be sneaky. I just like being sneaky.
Be a rogue.
Well, I
Only digitally. I'm not sneaky in real life. Well, sometimes I do
I am
hide.
not subtle enough to be a
Something
rogue
like
in
that.
real life. I would be the bard. If like we were basing off reality, that's like a
Yeah, I will say my charisma's still high, so nobody worry about that. I can still talk my way through some fights. That said, my best prank is hiding and wait for people and then jumping out and scaring them. Like it's genuinely, I'm so good at it. I love it's the height of humor for me. And like I'm not saying like, oh, I'll hide for like 2 minutes and wait for somebody to scare them. I'm saying like I've hid for 2 hours. Like
yeah, you talked about this last
kid
week,
you
I
not.
think. Yeah.
I will hide for hours to scare someone. It is bad. I realize it's detrimental to their health in some fashion. Because they could, any number could happen, but it is so funny to me.
All right, you go and have fun.
I do have a shout out real quick.
Okay.
Of like thing. This is a couple weeks out, but just to put it in to put the bug in your head or your ear, just to be thinking about. CBS Sunday Morning does a hail and farewell every year about New Year's. So like the New Year's episode, I don't know what the date is. I think it'll be on Sunday. So it'll actually probably be New Year's Day, or New Year's Eve, I'm sorry. But every year CBS Sunday Morning does a hail and farewell, and they basically just highlight everyone who's passed within the last year.
Mm-hmm.
And so what's great about it is it'll be people that you've heard of that have passed, unfortunately, like Andre Braugher. Is that right? Braugher just passed.
Yeah.
So like it'll be people you've heard of, but it'll also be persons you may not have heard of, like either from the art world or music or whatever. And I just like every year I know that sounds terrible and probably macabre, but I really do enjoy it for the fact that like I think death is kind of what makes life worth it, because like there is an ending to the dream that we are all experiencing. Joke in my opinion, but because there's an ending, like it makes all this, somewhat worth it, even though it's a blip. And so the idea that they every year do a hail and farewell to those who passed and have brought us something in our lives, maybe, or you find out about something new and you get to go back and
do they talk
find out
about them, or
this.
is it just like
montage?
A montage. A little bit of both. So like they'll like spotlight certain persons, and then sometimes it'll just be like, and this is Harry Davidson, whatever. So I would say on New Year's.
Harry Davidson passed? Oh no.
Like probably New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve, they'll probably air that. I think that's when that'll air.
CBS this morning?
CBS Sunday Morning, yeah. And I think it's always like one of the episodes I look forward to the most as far as the season goes, just because I think it's good to like find out about people you probably didn't know about, and also just to think about persons who have passed. And like, granted, I'm not like big on celebrities. That to say, it is like still very interesting to like look back on the year and reflect, as most people do, but just in a different way.
All right, thanks for that.
Yeah. All right, thank you both.
Thank you, Jen. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be off the next couple of weeks, so see you.
Okay.
Probably in the new year.
And just be
Right on.
All right, we'll see you next Saturday, Shannon.
Happy birthday.
Happy Christmas.
Wait, no. Will it be? We won't see you till after Christmas?
Well, if Kyle's off for the next few weeks.
Oh, happy Christmas, Kyle. Not to me. I got it. Whatever. Thanks.
I will say.
Whatever. Fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant. Not happy Christmas to you. Happy Christmas to you.
And to you.
I'm kidding.
All right.
Thank you all. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
What up, Julia? How are you?
Yeah, so for the Love Actually, Gladys did talk about that. It would definitely be in her top 25. I haven't actually made a Christmas movie. Right?
No, Jerry Maguire is not. I'm not a Jerry Maguire fan. I mean, I didn't like it the first time, so I doubt if I would watch it the second time in Christmas. I watch Die Hard on a loop and then put in Love Actually every now and then because I can. But Love Actually is my Christmas go-to. Another, It's a Wonderful World and Die Hard.
Do
Can't go wrong with that.
does Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring count because there's snow for a little bit? Does that count as a Christmas movie?
I like
It definitely does. There's no
Aragon,
Christmas.
but I don't like Lord of the Rings. I don't like I mean, I understand how great the movie is and how, just theatrically how great it is, but I'm not a fan, except of Aragon. So, yeah.
Yeah, if you go more, I mean, Orlando Bloom.
Yeah, well, my sister's a very big fan of the character Orlando Bloom played, but yeah.
Oh, Legolas is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, she loves him. But Aragon, the Ranger, he's mine.
Yeah, Aragorn's awesome too. I love Faramir. There's a lot of there's so many great characters in the movie.
Yeah,
those are like my favorite movies ever, though. So I get
one of those movies you want to sit through, and you sit down, and then you're like, I can't make it through this movie. I can't. I have to come back to it. I can't sit through it straight. So, yeah.
I will say the last time I watched The Fellowship of the Ring was at the old place, and since we were already being forced out anyway, I was like, well, I'm just gonna smoke inside. So I did the smoke when they smoke challenge, which in Fellowship of the Ring is almost impossible. Man, that's the way to do it. You just constantly getting high.
I can't. I don't.
They smoke a lot in that movie.
Yeah, they do.
A little bit. They still do in the other two, but especially the first one. It's a great. It's one of the best. It's maybe arguably the best stoner movie ever in that sense.
I could see.
Not a Christmas movie. No Christmas.
Yeah, not a Christmas movie. Courtney Burroughs has a start sit question.
Yeah.
Same kind as last week, but isn't it? I think he's not cleared to play yet, is he?
He's still questionable.
Yeah,
I think the idea is, I think the one thing is where there's less of a risk on Achane is that she has other options. If he's out, she can replace him. Like I know the idea was Achane or Chandler today, but it seems like she also has. I would hope that's Keaton Mitchell, not Elijah Mitchell, Drake London, or Jake Ferguson, right? So if Achane's ruled out, she still has other options to swap out. I don't.
Why wouldn't you play Chandler? He's like Madison's not in. He's got the backfield to himself.
Yeah, I guess I'm worried. I mean, Zach Moss had the backfield to himself a couple weeks ago against the Bengals.
Zach Moss had a really bad, like not last week, but the week before. It was not like people are saying
he didn't have a good game against the Bengals, right? So that's my worry with Chandler is that he doesn't have a good game against the Bengals.
What's up?
But that's my worry is that Chandler, he gets all the volume, but he doesn't get the touchdown, and it's just so inefficient that he's not even worth playing in a fantasy playoff matchup. I get it, like if it's we'll get to philosophy here, but in the fantasy playoffs, I'm almost always chasing the ceiling performances on players because the way I see it, in the playoffs, you're playing against the best teams in the league. The floor, the safety of a floor of a Ty Chandler type of, he's going to get the volume, he'll get you a safe floor. That serves well in the regular season when you might be playing teams that aren't as good as you. Or when I need to just get this many wins over the course of the season, a safe floor should get me to at least close to the average to get those wins. But when you're talking a 1 week playoff, that's when I'm defaulting more towards ceiling. And of the options, the one that comes to my mind in terms of ceiling, if you're not going to play Achane, is Drake London, actually. Now, last time he played the Panthers, he had 0 catches on 1 target. Will that be the case again? I don't think so, but maybe they do. Maybe they just default to that anyway. But I could see London because we've seen him have recent big performances. That's the one guy I think I would go with.
If I'm not playing Chandler, which I actually am, but if I wasn't going to play Chandler out of that list, and I'm not playing Achane because he's, I guess, hurt, or I don't know what's wrong with him, but
he might play, he might not. Right? We still don't know.
Yeah, I mean that whole, I have a feeling that Wilson is going to be. I would play Ferguson because that Dak likes his tight ends, and that game has like a 50-point predictive total. So I would play Ferguson. I would play Ferguson and Mostart, but I think Ferguson has a way better path to scoring fantasy point. What Mitchell is that?
Yes, Elijah Mitchell's been ruled out. So if it's Elijah Mitchell, she can't play them anyway. I'm assuming it's Keaton Mitchell.
I don't care. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I would still play Ferguson. Ferguson to me has the higher upside of all those three because how much Dak uses his tight ends. And because I think that Buffalo's going to be playing without a linebacker and a corner today. So
you're chasing the touchdowns in the ceiling. I get that too. Like I think either those pass catchers, whether it's London or Ferguson, and I guess Courtney can let us know if there's any tight end premium. I think you're definitely swinging towards Ferguson for those chances, those receptions can really boost his total. So yeah, I think what we're saying, Courtney, is like I get this. If you want the floor of Chandler, like if your team is like a super team and I'm the I guess this week you'd be the 3 seed playing a team that just squeaked into the playoffs. That's maybe where in the playoffs the floor argument comes into play. But for the most part, I'm usually defaulting to ceiling. So I would say hold off Chandler and then make the other decision tomorrow. Like then you find out, is Achane active or not? Now I guess the one thing is if Achane's in, are you playing both Mostert and Achane on the same team?
I did last week.
So there you go. And I think that could also work too because the Jets are so good against the pass that the way to beat them is on the ground.
Is through the run and
now,
through the middle.
Unfortunately, last time Achane played the Jets, he also got hurt almost immediately. So we don't know what that split actually looks like in the Jets game in particular. But I think there's like she's saying risk it, right? I think I'd risk it, just leave Achane in, play the both Dolphins, and if Achane's out, you still have options tomorrow. I think in looking at my rankings, I'm pretty sure I have Achane ranked ahead of Chandler. And I did raise Chandler with the news of Madison out, but I still think he's outside the RB2 range. Yeah. He's RB26 for me, Chandler is. Whereas Achane, I've got him at RB17 seems high, but I've got him at RB17. Looking back at maybe behind Montgomery, behind Hubbard, but yeah, I view Achane as a top 20 guy this week.
I
know. So Julia is saying Ferguson. So yeah, I think the first decision is to just bench Chandler and give yourself more information tomorrow. And that might also, players play today. That'll also give you an idea of like, do you need ceiling or do you need a floor?
Julie, thank you.
Hobbit,
Courtney, thank you.
Say it is hot. Yeah, is Julia asking just my Lord of the Rings comment? Is Hobbit more appropriate for Christmas? I think the problem is Christmas doesn't exist in Middle Earth, so nothing of Tolkien stuff can actually be considered a Christmas movie. And I'll be honest, like the Hobbit movies are good, but the Lord of the Rings movies are better. So I would say there's never any moment where the Hobbit movies are more appropriate than the Lord of the Rings movies. So I guess I would say no, Julia, to answer your question.
What? Okay. So Kyle, you're not going to be here the next 2 weeks. Is that what you said?
Yeah. I'll be traveling, visiting my parents next weekend, and then Victoria's parents the weekend after. And
where are your parents?
I know. Elliott Lake. So there's it's about 2 hours west of where I live right now, and I know we're probably leaving like around this time next week. So we'll be probably on the road.
Safe.
Yeah.
Be safe. Hopefully. And where does her parents live?
Oshawa, but that's closer to Toronto.
Oh, okay, but her parents came for Boxing Day.
They came and visited us up on Canadian Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Okay. Well, drive safe. We're gonna miss you.
Yeah, we'll miss you too.
Thanks for watching, Jamie. Jamie, did you shave your head? Jamie is supposed to shave his head because he lost a bet to me.
Oh, what was the bet?
That I said that Mostert would get more fantasy points than Pollard last week, and he said there was no way in hell that was going to happen. And if it did, he would shave his head. And Mostert did get more fantasy points than Pollard last week. And
2 touchdowns.
Don't think he shaved his head. Jamie, Welcher. Julie, thanks for watching. And Jesse Patterson, sorry. Thanks for watching.
Well, maybe someone named Jessica is also watching too. So thank you for that random person.
Jessica, thank you for watching. Lewis, my brother-in-law, who sent me the wok that I used and the sauté pan that I used. And tomorrow I'm going to cook peanut butter treats for the dogs. I'm highly excited by this. I thought,
damn, those dogs are getting spoiled. I want peanut butter treats for me.
Oh, I'm cooking vegan peanut butter and chocolate chip cookies for myself too. So
that also sounds awesome. Treat yourself.
We'll see. This will be my first time.
And you're doing it in the wok?
No. And okay. I'm doing it. That's just gross. No, I've already used I will use it again, but the wok was the first use yesterday and the sauté pan was first use the day before. And so now I'm the first use on little dog, whatever they're,
cookie cutters?
Yes, little doggy bone cookie cutters, first use tomorrow for peanut butter. And then for me, I'm just going to for my cookies. I'm just going to throw them on the pan and see what happens. But the good thing about the dogs is like any of the ingredients humans can eat it. It's like there's nothing doggish in there. There's nothing that humans can't eat in the dog cookie treats too.
True. Yeah, their diet's a lot more restrictive than ours. I mean, some people might still have.
Yeah. So I'm highly excited by that, and highly excited to see all the games on TV today. College, NFL. It's going to be a great day.
Go Zombies. Are you still alive? Because I got eliminated a long time ago.
No.
Okay.
I got put out. Oh, I made it to the first round of the score, and then the second round
Okay, yeah. I was part of that first group, that the first two that got eliminated the very first week, and then you.
I was
me.
the second two that got eliminated.
My God, my record is awful. 2-12, and the next worst team was 5-9. Man, this literally is one of the worst fantasy teams I've ever assembled. And yeah, like my good players got stolen from me, like Jalen Hurts and stuff. But
well, I mean,
damn,
I
that's one of the worst seasons I've ever had in fantasy.
Rocky Roads. How do you have? Wait, what are Rocky Roads? What are Rocky? Now I have to Google that, Julie.
Isn't it Rocky Road like chocolate chips and marshmallows or something?
I don't know if marshmallows.
No, it's like chocolate. It's not chocolate chips. It's like chocolate chunks or like chocolate flakes.
See, I have to go find vegan.
I'm thinking of Rocky Road ice cream. That's what I'm kind
of. I have to go find vegan chocolate chips first of all. So, I guess I could add. Yeah.
Well, so Julia made it to the actual playoffs in the Zombie League. So
yeah, she did. I think. Yeah. No, it wasn't her. I don't know. IDP Gent. I think it was IDP Gent that. There was someone that was like close to not like would have been the lower score if I hadn't been the lower score. And then the Monday game, they just like vaulted up. I don't know who they had. They just like killed it. Oh yeah, no, Rocky Road's ice cream. No, to like chocolate chip cookies. Why would I do that? Ben and Jerry used to have a vegan kind of pseudo Rocky Road's ice cream, but I haven't seen it lately. So. I'll have to search that one out. Colin Kaepernick has a vegan Ben and Jerry's Rocky Road, or kind of pseudo Rocky Road ice cream. That's pretty good. It's really, really good, actually. But anyway, thank you guys.
I think it's Rocky Ride out of the NFL, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think it was a Rocky ride out of the NFL. I think it was.
Yeah, it was pretty quick. It was okay, you're gone, you're done.
You're gone. You're finished. See ya.
Packers probably really could have used him that year. Just saying, let's go with Brett Huntley now. Let's. Signed Colin Kaepernick. He was available. He didn't have Rodgers,
Yeah.
He might have made the playoffs. They were like 4-2, 5-2 at the time Rodgers got hurt. I don't know.
I don't want to talk about all the quarterbacks that are worse than Colin Kaepernick that are playing right now.
You can do that, yeah. Every year since 2017, like you have. Oh my God, you'd be able to fill the league like 3 times over with all the awful quarterbacks that are way worse than him. More than 3 times over, honestly. But no, that specific year, the Packers should have signed Colin Kaepernick when Rodgers fractures. That much is clear and obvious to me.
Oh, one of my brothers-in-law is. I need everyone to send super duper good vibes to him. He is going under a test for lung cancer. He's been in the hospital for a bit. I think they thought it was pneumonia, but now it might not be. So everyone needs to send super duper good vibes out to him. Cheers to you, my girl. You have a great rest of your day. Anyone who has people playing. I won't be watching the Steelers game because it makes me cry to watch them play now. I will be watching whatever college football game is on at the same time. Hopefully it's a good one so I don't have to like peek at the Steelers game and see what kind of.
Also, I think I discovered the mystery. It's funny that you mentioned IDP because I'm looking back that week 13 you got eliminated and I was like, oh, she scored 172. How'd she get eliminated? But yeah, it's like, okay, yeah. Next team had 181.
Yeah.
Jeff had 2 players playing Monday night. Both IDP players, Faloye Aluakon, Wayside Aluakon, who I cannot say his first name, and then Dax Hill, and they combined for 35 points.
Yeah.
So like that was one where you're probably up by like about 25, 26 points. Oh, he's got 2 IDP players. So they just both smashed.
No, I don't look at the scores until Monday night. I never check my fantasy scores because of the 2 minutes in the Tennessee game. Like you think you're like ahead.
It ain't over till it's over.
It ain't over till it's over. So I don't.
It's funny because I actually I did not check, and then like, oh, Yeah, the Hopkins touchdown. I wonder if that's enough. It's probably not. I'm not going to bother checking to be disappointed. I went the next morning and it's like, oh my god, I actually did win. Wow.
I just poked my dog in the eye.
I was a little depressed with the Packers loss, and then knowing I was losing in another league too.
Yeah, that was a really weird game, though. I mean,
The Packers defense had not played that bad all year.
Yeah.
It was their worst performance all year. Actually, I want to go back to something Jamie said, because he asked a math question and a fantasy question I want to answer. This math makes sense, right? Packers beat Mahomes, but then Tony DeVito beats the Packers. So Tony DeVito is way better than Patrick Mahomes, right? To be fair, the last 5 weeks in fantasy, he has outscored Patrick Mahomes. So actually, yes, JD. Tony DeVito is better than Patrick Mahomes right now. That being said, my rankings, I still have Mahomes at like QB6 and DeVito at like QB23. So I wouldn't play DeVito over Mahomes this week, but it's probably the wrong decision, as history shows us.
Who's DeVito playing? New Orleans? They're in New Orleans, right?
Yeah.
They're in New Orleans. I'd play DeVito at home. I'd play him next week. He has a really good matchup next week. I can't remember who it is. But yeah, Mahomes
I've got him in one playoff team where I'm playing him ahead of Bailey Zappi.
Well, unfortunately, I set O'Connell and played. It's a double. I think I have Flacco and Fields in that league.
All the leagues where I had O'Connell, I didn't make the playoffs. I got eliminated, so it didn't matter anyway.
I made the playoffs with O'Connell, but yeah.
Well, yeah, Zach Wilson's better than Josh Allen. Zach Wilson is better than Jalen Hurts because he beat both of them this year somehow.
Yeah, I mean,
the Jets still have a losing record, and they're not going to make the playoffs, but they won those 2 games.
Yeah, I need Josh Allen to go off sort of today. But
got him in a league. It'd be nice.
Yeah, it'd be nice. And I think if it rains really hard, I think that's his game. Like he's gonna be running the ball, and on the goal line, he's gonna be running the ball in. So James Cook, owners beware, and Latavius Murray, who I have, owners beware. But yeah, it's supposed to be done like torrential pours, I think. Anyway, everyone, thanks for joining us. Kyle, we won't see you for 2 weeks. Does that mean we won't see you till like January?
Well, I will be on the Christmas special on Wednesday. The Christmas show that Jeff's putting together.
Am I on the Christmas special? I need to get a Christmas hat. Damn it! I think I'm
probably gonna wear this hat. So
I need to buy a new hat anyway. So
I know there's. Yeah, he did send out a list to us at one point. In terms of
he sent out a list.
Yeah, in terms of like these are the people that have confirmed they were going to be on.
Shit.
You're on that list. So yeah, you are expected to attend.
All right. What time is it?
9:30 on Wednesday. So typically what his normal like armchair show would be. So 7:30.
7:30. But it's Zoom, right? It's not.
It's Zoom, but then we'll put the Zoom through the restream somehow. It's because.
But what am I looking for? Am I looking for a Zoom or a restream?
Probably. Yeah, I think he will connect it to restream. So I think you probably want the Zoom link.
All right. Well, I will see you guys Wednesday then.
I don't know if you noticed, he just put together a group chat on Twitter.
No, I don't go on Twitter, people.
But I'm telling you, that's probably where the invite's going to be. So just.
I hate Twitter.
Don't leave that group chat. Like, stay in the group chat until the show's done. Then you can leave it afterwards. But it's there. It's GF2 holiday show.
Many group chats, which I guess I shouldn't, but I can't. Nothing.
All you got to do is Wednesday, go on Twitter at around 9:15ish or 7:15ish, and
it's a specific group chat. Okay.
Sorry?
It's a specific group chat just for that. All right.
Yeah.
I'm there. All right. I'm gonna go get the ingredients for doggy and vegan chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, by the way, Gladys won the Monday night challenge with the picks. You just barely beat Dan and I, so good job.
What?
Yeah. We made your picks for you last night or on Monday, and you had 5 for 6 on the picks we gave you. So what we did was we used your tendencies. Like we noticed you had picked more underdogs than favorites through the year, so we gave you both the underdogs. And guess what? They not only covered, but they both won outright. So there's 2 points for you there. You had a tendency to go more highers than lowers, so we gave you the highers. Both highers hit. And then I think we gave you, like we looked at like what type of props you like to pick.
Mm-hmm.
I know the one we got wrong for you was we gave you Barkley under his scrimmage yards. It was 94.5, and he hit over.
I would have probably got under.
Knowing you, yeah, because we noticed you had done that before where you'd taken the times you'd gone higher on running backs was when it was like lower than 35 yards. And anything higher than that, you're going lower. And you had been successful at it. You went lower Javonte 1 week. I think another week you went lower on Najee on his yards. So we saw that as, okay, Gladys, if the running back totals are high, she'll go lower than them. So we gave you that when we got wrong, but we did give you Tua higher than 3.5 rush yards. I also went with the quarterback rush yards too, and mine didn't hit, but yours hit. So you end up winning. You went 29, 20, and 2. So you were
Who did you pick for your quarterback rush yards?
Love 9.5 rush yards, and he got 2 rush yards.
Really? He only rushed twice?
I was shocked he went under 9.5 rush yards. Honestly, Dan was warning me too, though. It's like, he won't need to run because he can just make every throw and like he won't have to run away from anybody. And who knew? The Giants ended up winning. But yeah, you just beat Dan and I because we were both 28, 21, and 2, and you finished one ahead of us at 29, 20, and 2. So
I'll take it.
That early stretch at the start of the year, again, that's 2 years in a row. The person who starts off hot, even if there's struggles in the middle of the season, that early lead is enough to just maintain it. And I did catch you and got ahead of you at one point, but I did not have a good week this week. I went 3 for 6, so I was 50%, and that was enough. I was 1 for 3 the previous week too. So the last 2 weeks of going into week 13, I had the lead and I just lost it. Not so good performance. So congrats to you, Gladys. Great job.
Thanks. Julie, that red's been there the whole time. I do love it too, Julie. It looks good.
Sometimes sometimes I will stream later at night, so like all you see is the computer lights, all you see is basically me and maybe the blue of the wall. But yeah, it's we do it during the day in no particular order. You can
it's beautiful. All right, peoples. I appreciate, I know Kyle does, and I know Shannon does too, appreciate you listening in on our mindless chatter.
And if you want new music, check out, I don't really compose music that's released, but I do. I'm in a band, so check out the stuff that Patrick Pilla does, PA the Second. He just put out a new album called Illa You. It's not a Christmas album, but it's so good that you should listen to it instead of Christmas albums.
So that's the new song that you're...
New album is Illa You. A couple singles off the album include Collect, Husband Material. I think Ikebe would be the 3rd single if there's going to be one.
This is true. So I don't know any new songs. Cher has a new Christmas song that's supposed to be really good, but I've never heard it, so I can neither confirm nor deny that that's a true story, but I do know that she has a new Christmas song. I listen to classical music, and what I listen to isn't new because it's on my thing here, so I'm sorry. But you guys, have a good week. This week is what? This will be the 17th, so it will be Christmas Eve? No, it will be 2 days before Christmas.
Yeah, it'll be the 23rd.
The 23rd. So we will see you again. Shannon and I will see you on the 23rd. Kyle will be traveling to see his parents. Yay. Drive safe, Kyle. Be safe.